Hello and happy Wednesday to everybody. I hope you are all doing well and feeling chipper and excited to be joining me on the mat this evening for our flow session. It's still a bit muggy even though the sun's kind of gone away, so grab a glass of water and come and rest on the mat with me. You probably won't need any props or anything, but if you usually have one to hand, then it's always good to have it just in case. Apart from a smile, that's all we need. So come down onto your backs this evening, nestle yourself into the mat. I always like to tuck the tailbone under to create a nice long lower back body, so we can feel that lengthening of the spine happening already. And then lift the head, tuck the head, same thing happening to the neck. So nice and long at the back of the neck, reducing that natural curve, and then rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Just settling in here. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Bring your hands onto your belly and allow those knees to knock together. So closing the eyes down here and just noticing the body. Notice if there is any initial signs of tension, in which case just move the feet forward or backwards to allow yourself to come into a restful space. We don't want to be holding the muscles too much here. So as we close our eyes and just gaze inwardly at the body, as always, we take this moment, the first few minutes of our practice, to notice our body, ourselves. Again, we're in a funny old space and time at the moment. Things are changing. Perhaps you've gone back to work this week. Perhaps kids have gone back to school. Perhaps you're in anticipation of those things happening, but not quite there yet. Again, wherever you are in life at the moment, just take a moment to acknowledge where you are in your body. So are there any parts of your physical body that are talking to you at the moment? I.e., is your lower back feeling a little bit tender? Is your neck feeling a little tight? How are your shoulders doing? How about that space around the hips? When we lengthen our lower back, sometimes that space around the hips can pull a little. So just seeing how that bit feels. Just noticing the physical body. Maybe the jaw is holding a little tension today. Maybe the forehead, perhaps your brow is knitted. And then when we have had a little walk through the body, just noticing what's there for us today, we move our awareness onto our thoughts. Again, I'm sure some of you are feeling a little anxious, a little apprehensive. Some people having other negative feelings going on at the moment with what's happening in the press, with what's happening in our political system. I'm trying not to politicise our practice, but just give yourself a moment to acknowledge those thoughts, those emotions that are running around the body, around the brain, and know that that's okay. To notice how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, and just let those feelings kind of fade into the background for the next hour, as we now allow ourselves to start to focus on our breath. So consuming your mind with that gentle inhale, that slow, soft exhale. Notice that space underneath your hands, a gentle rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. Again, just creating awareness around your breath, whether it's feeling particularly tight at the moment, whether it's feeling particularly hard to get deeper into that inhale. And again, whatever is true for you, take a really big breath into that space underneath the hands. And a huge grounding sigh. Starting to let go of some of that tension we hold in the body, in the mind, in our emotional self. Again, a couple more of those. Next inhale, make it deep and long. As you exhale, big sigh. Last one, really big, extensive inhale into the pit of the belly, and then big sigh out to release and relax your body. And then from here, with those eyes still closed, you're going to reach your arms over your head. So nice long extension of your upper body. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and give yourself a gentle stretch out through that right side. Breathing into that stretch. So as you inhale, a gentle pull with the left hand. As you exhale, a softening of the shoulder. And then release that right hand. Coming onto the left side, so grabbing hold of left wrist with right hand, still with eyes closed if you can. Big breath in to gently ease yourself into that stretch. Again, notice as you breathe in that length that we can get through that left side. Opening up the side body. And then gently release that hand. Just let the hands just fall onto the arms, I should say, just fall onto the floor for a moment. And then from here, on your next inhale, you're going to draw your knees in towards your chest. A little bunny hop to release any tension in the low spine, and then a rock from left to right. So just noticing again how that feels for your back body to open up into that space around the spine. And then from here, I'm going to plant those feet down back on the floor. So at this time, a little bit closer towards your body, we're going to come into bridge pose. Before we do, just take the hands and place them over the eyes. Give yourself a gentle massage through your eye sockets, just so that we open them up nice and slowly and gently. And then just massage around the face, around the jaw. And just get the fingers moving through those muscles, releasing tension. That space between your jaw and your ear. A gentle massage through there, maybe through the temples, through the center of the eyebrows, around the eye sockets, around the cheekbones. And then one more big breath in. As you exhale, just let the arms fall beside you. Very nice. So, from here we're going to start to shift the feet. Oh, sorry, we've shifted those feet a little bit closer already. Palms facing down beside your body. And then on your inhale breath, you're going to lift your pelvis. So as you inhale, lift the pelvis nice and up, nice and tall. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone and curl your pelvis underneath down towards the floor. So inhale breath, another one of those. Nice big lifting up of the pelvic area. See how that feels on the outside edge of the groin too. And then exhale, tucking pelvis and rolling all the way down. Inhale breath, lifting all the way up. As you exhale, this time staying here. Next inhale, you're going to lift up onto your toes, wriggling those toes nice and open, so you're pushing into the balls of the feet and stretching along the toe line. And then as you exhale, with the heels still lifted, tuck the tailbone and roll yourself down. Right at the last minute, you can bring those heels down. So a couple more of those. Inhale to push down through the whole of the foot, coming up through the pelvis. Exhale here. Inhale, lift the heels, pushing into the ball of the feet, push the pelvis a little higher, and then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, roll yourself down, and then at the last minute, the heels come down. Last one, inhale, lifting hips, exhale here, inhale, that lift through the heels, so pushing through the balls of the feet a little higher, And then exhale, tucking under through the tailbone, coming down. And then the last thing is to release those heels. Again, you're going to draw those knees in towards the chest, a little bunny hop to release, and then a gentle rock from left to right. Starting to take circles now with those knees, just to check in with your sacrum, your lower back, that space around the back of the kidneys and the hips, and then come the other way. And then from here, you're going to take a rock forwards and backwards into the centre to come up into seated with the feet planted onto the floor. A roll of those shoulders up, back and down as you come up onto tiptoes and lift up through those knees. A nice big hug here, so hugging into the centre line with the chest on the thighs. Big breath in. And then you exhale, big sigh through the mouth into boat. Inhale, draw the knees in, nice and high, nice big hug. Exhale, big sigh, Navasana. Inhale, draw yourself in and up. Exhale, sigh. Inhale, nice and high. Exhale, big sigh. This time, hands come down beside you, elbows wriggle down onto the floor. So from here, you're going to lift your feet nice and high to roll onto the back part of your pelvis, onto your low spine. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the feet down towards the floor. Lift the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades and open the chest. Exhale, breath. Swing those legs nice and high. Hug everything in round your back. Inhale, push down through the elbows, lift the chest. Exhale, swing the legs up. Inhale. Open through the throat, be kind to your neck. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale. This time bring those feet down towards the floor as you lift yourself back up onto your sit bones. Bring your arms forward, bring your feet down, come all the way up to standing. Open through the chest, and as you exhale, trace the front of the body with your prayer. Coming down to that centre line. Fingertips, shins or floor, inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Just hanging out here for a moment. Just wriggling your shoulders, maybe grabbing hold of alternative elbows, giving yourself a little bounce. Just to release any tension through the belly, take that breath all the way down into the belly muscles, giving them that internal massage as you breathe. Pushing through the thighs, relaxing through the neck. A gentle shake of the head to say no. A nod of the head to say yes. And then just allowing that head to fall heavy, arms heavy, rolling up, shoulders soft. Slowly and gently coming up into standing. So reset with your shoulders up, back and down. From here, we're going to wriggle those toes and make sure that we're planting those feet into the floor. Heel toe the feet to hip width apart. So we're going to come into a nice gentle flowing sequence to open your upper body. I might turn to face you to do this. So heels underneath your hips, and we're going to soften into those knees. As we do, inhale to sweep the arms up and straighten out through the legs. Grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand and give yourself a gentle pull as you lift. As you exhale, you're going to lean over to the left, hinge from the hips with straight legs, come all the way down and over in a sweeping circle, lifting all the way up. And this time as you exhale with shoulders facing front, come over towards the left. So big breath in, big sigh out. Inhale to come back up to centre. Exhale to bend the knees, let the arms fall. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up and open. Grabbing hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come over towards that right side and hinge from those hips. Come into our circle. Stretching all the way up. As you exhale again, you're going to come over to the right. Gentle breaths here. Inhale to come up to the centre. Exhale to bend the knees, again let the arms fall. Inhale to sweep it all the way up. One more time on both sides, so grabbing hold of that right wrist with the left hand, exhale it all the way out to the side and around in that big circle from the waist. As you exhale, this time coming over again to that left side. If you can, push a little bit out through those hips, down into that right side body. And a nice lengthening stretch here. Inhale back into centre. Exhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale to come all the way up. Left wrist, right hand, nice big lift as you exhale, circling round through the waist. Inhale to come all the way up, and then exhale to come over to the left. Again, pushing the hips out towards that left side. Nice big breaths all the way through that side body. And then inhale to come all the way up. As you exhale, bend the knees, sweep the fingertips on the floor beside you. Inhale to come up into chair pose. Exhale, soften through those hips, shoulders coming down the back body. Sitting even further back into those sit bones, letting the toes lift a little, just so that we can reaffirm the fact that we have that weight in the base of the heels. Long and open through the breath. Use that lift in and back through the belly, supporting your thighs. As you exhale, bend the knees, sweep the fingertips onto the floor, reaching them up behind you. Inhale to come all the way up to standing, lift the hips. Open the chest, another one of those. Bend the knees, sweep the fingertips. Inhale to lift the chest. As you exhale, twist the front of the body with the prayer. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Allow the head to fall. Plant the hands in. You're going to walk the feet back into a down dog. Let's take a few steps. And then when you're in a nice comfortable space, we'll start to sway the hips. Bend and stretch each leg. Finding length to your upper body, those shoulders. Maybe even a little sway out through the shoulders. Turn to look underneath each arm with that sway. Big breath in and out. And then next inhale, lift up high onto your toes. As you exhale, pull down through those heels. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Left heel planted into the floor as you inhale up through right heel. Three-legged. Exhale, pull that right knee high in towards heart center and heel toe in between the hands. Rolling shoulders up, back and down into our low lunge, runner's lunge. Inhale up with right hand, shoulders back into their sockets. Exhale down with those right fingertips. Inhale up, left hand. Exhale, left hand comes all the way down, planting hands in, right foot back into plank, shoulders over the wrist, big breath in. As you exhale, big sigh, and push through the heels of the hands. As you exhale, knees, untuck toes, full body comes down in between those hands, elbows nice and tight. Inhale, rolling shoulders up, back and down into our cobra pose, big breath in here. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, tuck toes and sit the hips back towards the heels. Inhale, breath underneath your shoulder blades. As you exhale, lift the hips, downward dog. Bringing the weight into that right heel as you inhale up and back through left heel. Three-legged. Exhale, hug that left knee nice and high. Heel to the foot in between the hands. Always move it forward if you need to. Shoulders back, settling through those hips, runner's lunge. Inhale up, left arm, shoulders back into their sockets. Exhale, left fingertips come down. Inhale up, right arm, shoulders back. Exhale, planting full hands. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, push the floor away. Big breath in. Exhale, knees, untuck toes, full body. Inhale, rolling shoulders back, opening through the chest. Big breath out here. Inhale, opening through the collarbones. Tuck toes, exhale, sit the hips towards the heels. Inhale, underneath those shoulder blades. Exhale, downward dog. Left heel anchors in. Inhale, up and back with that right foot, three-legged. Exhale, hug the right knee nice and high. Heel toe the foot in between the hands. Again, into our runner's lunge. Shoulders back, hips come down slightly. Big breath in. Big sigh out. We're going to charge up the thighs, squeeze in and up through pelvic floor, use the belly, and then we're going to reach up halfway. So we're going to keep the torso kind of level and reach the arms forward into our nice turbo lunge, reaching arms forward, shoulders still back into their sockets. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Inhale, breath to come all the way up. High lunge. Exhale, breath. Left heel comes down, warrior two. So shoulders down into their sockets. Big lift in and up through the belly. Again, as you rest those shoulders a little deeper, open up through the hips. And then next inhale, come onto the ball of the left foot, bring the left arm forward and the right arm back. So we're kind of coming into a reverse warrior two. Pull that right hip back, shoulders again softening down. And then sweep that right arm round to the front, clasping the hands together, releasing index fingers, Kali Mudra, reaching arms up, dropping hips down, opening chest. Again, just taking a couple of breaths here, finding lift to your low spine. And allowing the heart center to open and extend. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean forward through that stretch. Give yourself a little hop through the left foot to stabilize and come up into our warrior three. Still reaching fingertips forward, left heel coming back. And with flexed left foot, we're going to swing that leg all the way through and come up into our nice standing leg lift. Again, shoulders coming down the back body. Don't worry if the leg's not that high, just find a lift to the torso, try not to sit back. And then as you exhale, bring the left foot to meet the right, soften the knees. Hands come into prayer at heart, rolling shoulders up, back and down. Come into a gentle twist. Left elbow, right knee, rolling that right shoulder even further away from that center line. Opening up through the chest. Don't worry if you need to open the hands, back of the left hand down, right hand onto the waist. And then inhale to come back up into the center, straighten the legs, lift the chest. Exhale, trace the front of the body with your prayer. Inhale up halfway, lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Plant the hands in, take a step back into plank pose. Big breath in, big sigh out. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, either chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. Inhale into up dog cobra. Exhale into our downward dog. Again, that gentle shift of weight from left to right, planting those hands in. Finding open space around the back of those shoulders. A longer, deeper breath. And then next inhale, left foot comes up and back. As you exhale again, hug that left knee nice and high through the heart center, heel toe in between the hands. Move it forward if you need to. Shoulders back, sitting into those hips a little, pulling away into that right calf muscle. Again, really nice big breaths in and out. Hugging in and up, charging up the thighs, and moving the body forward into our turbo lunge. Shoulders come back. Again, just resting here. Try not to lift the torso too much, keeping low with the body. Pushing down through left heel as you inhale, squeeze in and up through the thighs into high lunge. Shoulders come down. Again, as you exhale, right heel down, opening up into warrior two. Reset the legs if you need to. Shoulders down, lifting in and up through belly. Softening out through those hips. Again, that longer, deeper breath, extending out across the chest. And then we're going to come into our reverse warrior two. So lifting onto the ball of that right foot, right arm forward, left arm back. Sinking into the hips a little. Shoulders still coming down the back body. Sweeping left arm forward, grabbing hold of that right hand, Kali Mudra, reaching up. As you exhale, softening through the hips. Again, lifting the chest, coming into a gentle back bend. And then we're going to move the body weight forward. Again, gently hinging from those hips to come forward. A little hop with that right foot to reset into our warrior three. Shoulders still soft. Right foot stays flexed as you hinge from those hips again to bring that right foot forward and up. Again, the shoulders come down the back body. Try and keep that leg elevated, but again, more important that the body stays upright. Big breath in and out. One more big breath in, lifting that right heel. And as you exhale, hands into prayer, come into our chair pose. Right elbow, left knee, rolling that left shoulder up, back and down. Again, don't worry if you need to open the hands. Pushing back through that left shoulder, extending out across the chest. And then as you inhale, raising the prayer, lifting the hips. As you exhale, trace the front of the body with that prayer. Fingertips, inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend and fold. Again, plant hands, step with the opposite leg that you did last time, plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, your choice of vinyasa, or downward dog or child's pose. Again, when you reach downward dog, I'm going to take 3 deep breaths, closing our eyes. So closing your eyes down, take a next inhale into your belly. Feel it fill and expand. As you exhale, big sigh, soften the chest. Inhale into the belly. Exhale. Inhale into the belly. Exhale. And then from here we're going to raise that right foot. This time that right foot is going to stay pointed. So lifting up through that right hip now rather than the foot being flexed. Left heel pushes down towards the floor. Nice and high with that right leg. Turning to look underneath that right arm. As you exhale, bring the right foot over towards the left sit bone. And then we're going to start to take some circles with that right kneecap. So nice and gentle out to the side, in towards the other kneecap, and then all the way up and back. So all the way forward and down, in towards the other kneecap, and then all the way up and back. This time we're going to start to move the body forward. So as the knee comes forward, squeeze the elbows and bring the body forward, looking in between the hands. Inhale to bring the body back into that left heel, opening up. Exhale, squeeze the elbows, coming forward. Inhale to open up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And then as you exhale, this time as you come forward, bring that right knee all the way in. Foot comes down in between the hands. So rolling shoulders up, back and down again. We're going to settle into our low lunge. Big breath in. Big breath out. Next inhale, you're going to reach those arms forward. Again, we're going to charge up the thighs into our quarter lunge. Bring those hands into prayer. Coming into our twist, so left elbow onto the right thigh. Or you can open those arms up to you. Top shoulder is pushing back, right hip is pushing back. Again, big breath in and out. And then we're going to lower that left kneecap down, untuck the toes. As you inhale, lift the prayer up, reach it forward as you push the hips. Reach it up as you push the hips forward. Big extension up through both sides. And then as you exhale, squeeze the thighs towards the center, cartwheel the arms around. Bring the hands to frame that front foot. Tuck the left toes. Your choice if you want to one-legged vinyasa. Again, going at your own pace, maybe just meeting in down dog. Taking those nice long, deep, expansive breaths in downward dog to recover. And then on your next inhale, left foot comes up and back. And we're going to spend a moment here opening up the hip. So really lifting those left toes nice and high, pushing down through right heel. Maybe looking underneath that left arm. And then the foot drops over towards the right sit bone. So left knee is still nice and high. And then we're going to come out to the side with that knee, still keeping the shoulders pushed back first of all. So a couple of circles out wide, and then back in. And then we're going to start to bring the shoulders into it. So as you exhale, squeeze the elbows, move the body forward. As you inhale, lifting up and back. Exhale, high up onto the ball of that right foot. Nice big extension. Last one. And then the foot comes down in between the hands. Again, you're going to charge up those thighs, squeeze in and up through the belly, arms come forward into our turbo lunge. And then hands into prayer at heart. Right elbow, left knee. Again, we're pushing up and back through that left shoulder. Back through left hip. Really big breaths in and out here. And then we're going to drop that right knee gently, untuck the toes, raise your prayer. As you exhale, hips come forward. So keep the lift in the belly, lifting in the lower back. Opening up through the chest. Pushing through the groin, and then opening up the arms, squeezing in and up through the belly, and then hands plant beside the front foot. Tuck right toes. Again, if you did on the other side, one-legged chaturanga. Up dog cobra. Exhale, down dog. Again, nice big breath in and out. We're going to do our 3 reset breaths. So you can do it in child's pose if you want to. I'm going to take nice big breaths into the belly. Out through the mouth. Into the belly. Out through the mouth. In through the belly. Out through the mouth. And then closing the mouth but keeping the teeth parted to soften the jaw. If you're not already there, down dog now. And then from here we're going to lift that right heel, this time flexing the right foot. As you exhale, shifting that right knee high towards heart center, heel toeing the foot in between the hands. Left heel comes down, we're going to cartwheel up and open into reverse warrior. Left hand up, back and down, lifting through right arm. So softening into that right thigh. Opening up through the chest. I'm just going to turn around to the other side so you can see what I'm up to. So nice big breath in and out here. We're going to come into a really long side angle stretch. So right arm onto right knee, left arm comes up and over. So really think about the whole of your body whilst you're doing this. that right shoulder, pulling back into its socket, pushing down through that elbow, opening up that space around the back of the left side of the rib cage, reaching that front arm forward. And then after a couple of breaths, do you want to come into a bind? If so, no worries, left hand behind, right hand underneath. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand. So you're pulling that left arm slightly so that you can open up through the left shoulder. Again, if your bind looks like this, looking down towards the floor, left shoulder dropped and your right bum cheek out to the side, please come open into side angle stretch again. So really nice long deep breaths here. Again, don't worry if you are in side angle stretch. We can do the next position in that same arm position, but if you have bound, keep in that bind for as long as you can. So look down towards the right toes and start to pull your right hip back. So you're straightening that right leg. Again, if you're in side angle, that looks like that. Nice long breaths in and out here, opening up the chest, looking towards those right toes. Pulling back through that hamstring. And then bending through the right knee. You're going to hop that left foot in line with your right foot, about hip distance apart. Again, if you've come out of the bind, don't worry if you hop that foot in. Whoop, she says, just bring your left hand onto the waist and your right hand underneath the inside of your right foot. Again, if you've got the bind, you can still keep the bind. We're going to come into Bird of Paradise. So, again, it's up to you, that full extension of how that's going to be for you. Just going to turn towards the front, change sides. And then as you inhale, lift the chest. Again, nice and slowly create a tall back body. There's no need to extend that leg unless you want to. The most important thing is to get that nice high lift in your body. And the last thing is to extend the leg. She says, feeling very balanced this evening, if you want to. Again, if you undone the bind, it would look like that. Shoulders down the back. Big breath in. And as you exhale, very slowly, come back out of it the same way you went in. Sometimes it's more difficult. Again, if you've got the bind, keep the bind. You're going to hop that left foot back into our side angle stretch, lifting through the chest. And then you're going to unravel those arms back into reverse warrior. Nice and open through right side, shoulders down the back. Take your right hand behind your head and draw the right elbow up towards the ceiling as you push the head back to open up into the tricep a little. You can even take that left hand behind the back if you want to. Again, one more big breath in and out. Before we cartwheel, right hand up and over, left hand down. Again, your choice if you want to do that one-legged vinyasa. If not, just down dog or child's pose. Taking a moment to reset in our downward dog. And nice and open through the chest. Extending down and out through those heels. Next inhale, left foot comes up and back, flexing the foot. Exhale, hugging knee, heel toe in between the hands. Again, as you bring that right heel down, opening up into reverse warrior. Right arm up, back and down, lifting chest. Left arm extends. Softening through those hips a little, but make sure the toes remain nice and soft. And then left arm onto left knee. Again, nice and slow journey into our side angle stretch. Really pushing down through left elbow, drawing back through left shoulder to reach that arm up and over. Feel an extension down that right side of the rib cage. Again, if you want to and you did on the other side, you can come into the bind. You're now grabbing the right wrist with the left hand, opening up the chest. And again, don't worry if you're kept in our side angle stretch, still works. We're going to turn to look towards that left set of toes and pull the left hip back. A nice big stretch out through the leg. And then you're going to re-bend the left knee. Take the right foot to meet the left, about hip distance apart. Again, nice and slowly, going to come up onto the board of that left foot and start to lift the chest. Again, I'll face you. So nice and slowly lifting the chest. Don't worry if you've come out of the bind and you only want to come to a nice lifted position. That's great. If you want to extend the leg, all good too, but don't start extending the leg until you've got that nice upright body. Big breath in and out. And then very slowly, coming back down the same way you went in. Again, keep the bind if you had it. Take the right foot back into our side angle stretch. And then you're going to unravel into reverse warrior. Lift it through the chest. Right shoulder softens. Left hand behind the back of the head. Again, elbow nice and tight towards the centre, maybe sweeping right hand behind. And then lifting the head up and back. So opening through that left side again, underneath the tricep. Deepening the breath. And then cartwheel left arm up and over. Right hand down. Again, if you want to, final vinyasa, left foot back. Using your body to its full extension. And then when you're ready, we're going to drop those knees, untuck the toes. Coming back for a well-earned balasana. So if your wrists are feeling a little bit tired, if you've been doing all the vinyasas, just give them a little roll. Maybe you can give them a stretch out and a pull back before we come down. Just noticing, as always, when we come into child's pose, noticing the heart rate, the breath. As the breath got a little shorter, heart rate got a little quicker. Just allowing those to regulate, to rest. Opening up through the back body as you breathe. Finding those fuller breaths now into the back of the rib cage, the back of the neck. And then very slowly rolling yourself up. Heavy head, heavy shoulders. A reset shoulder roll up, back and down, and a drink of water if you need one. Sitting to one side, sweeping those legs round. Just give yourself a little wiggle through the back of those legs, opening up through the back of the knees before we come into a forward bend. So right foot comes into the left thigh today. Flexing the left foot, take the flesh away from the left sit bone, and then fingertips alongside that front knee. As you inhale, as always, lifting the chest. You may want to add a strap around that foot depending on how you sit. Maybe if you sacrum sit, it's nice and easy to add a little strap into that stretch. Anyway, giving yourself that nice full breath in, and as you exhale, the heart center moving forward. Chest is reaching towards those toes. As always, if you want to, hands around the bottom of the foot rather than the top of the foot. Shoulders moving back, heart moving forward. Close your eyes down. So we've been quite dynamic this evening. So just give yourself this time to rest into that stretch. Again, with the eyes closed, we can be aware of where the breath wants to move through the body. Allowing that breath to open up the muscles, the joints. So one more big breath in and out here. And then inhale to reach beyond the toes, engage the belly, come all the way up. As you exhale, place the right hand down, out diagonally from your right hip. Right kneecap comes down. We're going to sweep that left arm up and over the head, lifting up off the hips. So your choice here, make sure right shoulder is back. You can either stay here lengthening out through the side, or you can shift the weight onto that right knee. Take the left foot up, reach it behind you, kick your bottom and grab hold of it with that left hand. As you grab hold of it, start to pull the left foot up and back, extending out through the shoulder, opening up through the heart. One more big breath in. As you exhale, extend the arm and leg, and then gently make your way back down. So before we come onto the other side, we're going to do a gentle spinal twist. So take that right foot a little bit further forward. So roughly heel is in line with your left knee. Grab the right knee with your left hand. Right fingertips come behind you. So as you inhale, lift yourself up. As you exhale, left elbow lifts. And we're gently twisting lower body, middle body, upper body. Shoulders come down into their sockets. Opening up through the chest. Again, really big breaths in and out here. Finding lift to the torso. Opening the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, turn to face towards the left. So a gentle counter stretch, counter twist. Place both hands onto the floor. Squeeze your elbows in towards your body and then push your right sit bone down towards the floor. Let the right kneecap come out wide onto the little toe side of that right foot and look towards your left hip. So again, elbows are drawing in, head is drawing down, right knee is drawing open. Big breaths in and out here. Again, if you've been working either from home or sitting at a desk anyway, that's a nice stretch for your back. And then very slowly come back into the center. Right leg comes down, give them a little wiggle, and then left foot comes in. Again, flesh away from that right sit bone. Right toes come back towards the face, fingertips beside the front leg. As you inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, heart center reaches forward. Again, slowly and gently easing yourself into that stretch. If you find these forward bend stretches difficult, maybe send me a separate message and I'll talk to you about straps or adding just a piece of material, a towel or something into your stretch. So again, closing your eyes down, allowing that whole back body to open up with your breath, including the back of that right leg. Again, we've done a few little hamstring stretches already, so hopefully we're feeling nice and open. Breath is long, moving it between the back of the shoulder blades and all the way down into that lower spine. So one more big breath in and out here. And then as you next inhale, engage the belly, reach beyond the toes and come all the way up. Again, as you exhale, left hand comes diagonally out from the left hip, planting it down, left knee comes down, reaching the right arm up and over, nice gentle arc for the body, and only if you fancy, left shoulder again, make sure it's back into its socket, right foot lifts towards the bottom, grab hold of that foot with the right hand and then kick up and away from you. Stretching out through the shoulder, opening up through the chest and the hip. Nice little heart opener to finish. And then as you exhale, full extension of arm and leg, and then slowly make your way down. Again, coming into our gentle spinal twist, right heel snuggles its way left heel snuggles its way forward, right hand around left knee, left hand behind. Inhale to lift up, keep right foot flexed. Exhale, raising the right elbow so that the right shoulder can drop. And then slowly from bottom of the spine upwards, we twist. Again, the torso is elevated, both sit bones are grounding down into the floor so that we can find that nice big extension up the spinal column. Deepening the breath. Relaxing through those muscles of the face if you can. And then as you exhale, turn to face the front. Gently unwind both hands alongside the right hip. Elbows nice and tight, tugging the head towards the right hip as you let the left knee come out onto the little toe side of that left foot. Again, really nice big breaths. Keep the elbows tightly squeezed into the centre to get that stretch all the way down the back. Again, just let the neck be long as your head hangs heavy. And then very slowly making your way back up into the centre. Left knee lifts and then left leg comes down to straight. Just wriggling out through the legs. And don't worry, I know we've already done boat pose today, so no boat pose, hurrah! Just making your way down onto the floor nice and slowly. Again, as always, if you have lower back problems, and again, lots of people do at the moment because they've been working in funny old spaces in their houses and God knows where, please do either place something underneath your knees, a bolster or a couple of pillows, or rest with your knees up. And then we're just going to take our way down onto the floor. Before you rest, I like to do a little wriggle of the hips and a roll of the shoulders. To again find that nice soft space for your body. Maybe you're in full Shavasana, maybe you're in a modified space. Either way now, closing your eyes down. Starting to let those toes soften away from the center line. Let those heels fall heavy into the earth. Allowing the back of the legs to soften and relax. No tension through the back of the knees. The muscles of the thighs releasing, relaxing as you walk your way through to the hips. Nice big sigh when you get there to relax and ground those hips. Softness to your low back, and ease to the space around your ribs, a heaviness to your shoulders, for your arms, the back of the head falling through the floor, neck is long, throat is open. No tension through the muscles of the face. As you come to rest your awareness to the center of the eyebrows. Starting to wriggle fingers and toes, rolling through ankles and wrists. A deeper breath, a lick of the lips, maybe a swallow, a rock of the head from left to right. Sweeping the arms over the head, giving yourself that full stretch as you breathe in. Big sigh as you breathe out. Rolling to the right, still with your eyes closed, coming slowly back into your body. And then only when you're ready, again still with those eyes closed, coming slowly back into our comfortable cross-legged seat. Placing your hands onto your chest tonight, maybe rolling the shoulders if they feel like they're tight. And as we start to take those deeper breaths into the belly, those restorative breaths into our solar plexus, we take a moment to notice that space underneath our hands, our energetic heart space. We take the time to acknowledge this space. We take the time to make a little promise to treat it with kindness, with love. Allow it to be open and positive. Take this sensation of love and light away with us off the mat. Bringing those hands now together, rubbing them towards. As we place those hands as cups over the eyes, fluttering eyelids open and bringing the hands down into prayer. Namaste everybody and Om Shanti. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat this Wednesday evening. I hope you enjoyed our dynamic session. As always, it's muchly appreciated if you can give me a little thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and a comment if you have time. Always, again, the donation part of the practice is incredibly appreciated. None of us, I don't think any of us thought we were going to be in this situation for such a long time, and so it's really, I feel really proud to have kept going, but also really appreciative of everybody who's making it possible for everybody to practice. So thank you again and have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hopefully I may see you again on Friday morning. It's at the new time of 9:30. It's our little quick dip practice for half an hour to 40 minutes. So if you can't join us on Friday morning, then just do it any morning because it's a really nice way to wake up. And have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will see you very soon. Namaste.